Do you see any of the little alerts about the new iPhone update? Guess what? It's going to let you add your passport to your Apple Wallet. It creates something called a digital ID that you can use whenever you need to show ID, including at the airport, to get on domestic flights, for a lot of things. And it sounds super nifty and so convenient. Everything in one place. Well, if you think that, you must have more trust in big tech safeguarding your privacy than I do. But at least here in the United States, this idea of a digital ID is optional, at least for now. But in the UK, it looks like the digital ID will soon be mandatory, at least if you want to work.
This government will make a new free-of-charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
Well, it's not simple. And you notice it's at the Global Progress meeting. Well, it's not simple, and it's being pushed by people in high places and with big tech connections, like former PM Tony Blair. And the digital ID debate has caused an uproar among the Brits, concerns about privacy, civil liberties, perhaps geofencing, tracking, social credit systems, well, a lot of nefarious motives. But tech billionaires Bill Gates and Larry Ellison, they're totally on board.
The NHS in the UK has an incredible amount of population data, but it's fragmented. It's not easily accessible by these AI models. We have to take all of this data we have in our country and move it into a single, if you will, unified data platform.
A unified data platform. Well, what could possibly go wrong with that? The Spanish Prime Minister at the World Economic Forum back in January pushed for this. I think we have the soundbite.
I propose putting an end to anonymity on social media. Citizens have the right to privacy, not to anonymity or impunity. We must push forward the principle of pseudonymity as the functioning element of social media, and force all these platforms to link every user account to an European digital identity wallet.
Ah, there it is. There you have it.
Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. And it's unimpeachable. The cars have cameras on them. I think we have a squad car here someplace. But those kind of applications using AI, if we can use AI, and we're using AI to monitor the video, by the way, and the camera's always on. You don't turn it on and off. And by the way you turn it on, you can't turn it on. I'm going to the bathroom. Oracle, I need 2 minutes to take a bathroom break, and we'll turn it off. The truth is, we don't really turn it off. What we do is we record it so no one can see it, but no one can get into that recording without a court order.
You sign up for digital ID, it'll be the last really important decision you make, because your digital ID will be the only thing that your governments, institutions, and anybody authorized by those holding power will recognize you through. So you won't exist anymore. You'll be replaced by a QR code. You are not a number, you're an address to some resources. And that makes it particularly dangerous because those resources can be edited, and one of those fields, for sure, will be your vaccination status. And I'm absolutely sure, because I've seen it written down in multiple documents, that your digital ID will only remain valid if you comply with the conditions of validity. So one of them will be, have you had your latest recommended or mandated jabs? And because of the fact that I'm qualified in toxicology and worked for decades with others in what's called rational drug design, when I look at these jabs, the constituents, I am certain, formally certain, that they were designed to hurt you. And so, the digital ID will lose validity unless you roll your sleeve up. you must see that's designed to injure and I believe ultimately kill you.
There is so much that is going on right now in the world that it is very clear that great change is upon us. The thing is that the people who are controlling this world is giving out the signals that the time is now for change. If people are not aware of the transition they have the world in to digitize everything, they will be lost to what is coming. Right now, I am seeing a lot of people giving warnings out about the real ID being the mark of the beast. And this stems from what these officials are saying in regard to people getting it and the warnings for people who don't. And from what I reviewed, I can see why people are concerned with the real ID and why they feel it is the mark of the beast. But after I did careful review and study over this agenda, I can confidently say that this real ID is not the mark, but it is the technology being used for what they are going to implement in the new world that is coming. Now, what I want to do is share my thoughts and information on why this is not the mark of the beast, so people are not led astray. So if you desire to hear my view on this, then let's talk about it. So what is Real ID? According to the issue brief of the Real ID Act of 2005, it says, the title of the section of the bill pertaining to identification cards is Improved Security for Driver's Licenses and Personal Identification Cards. The full bill was signed into law by President Bush on May 11, 2005, as a part of PL 109-13. The Real ID Act was written to prevent terrorism by making the veracity and accuracy of identification documents more reliable, and by strengthening of the U.S. borders against illegal entry by unlawful aliens and terrorists. The logic behind this is the recommendation of the 9/11 Commission that for terrorists, travel documents are as important as weapons. All but one of the 9/11 hijackers acquired some form of identification document, some by fraud. Acquisition of these forms of identification would have assisted them in boarding commercial flights, renting cars, and other necessary activities. Along these lines, the Real ID Act has statutes affecting two main policy areas: illegal immigration and standardization of identification cards. It also says under identification cards, the Department of Homeland Security has unequivocally stated on its website regarding the Real ID Act that the act does not create a national identification card system. The department has stated that the states can continue issuing their own driver's licenses and ID cards, but must meet certain federally mandated standards. The following must appear on a compliant ID: legal name, address, digital photograph, gender, date of birth, signature, document number, physical security features for prevention of tampering, and machine-readable technology such as a barcode. Any state wishing to issue non-compliant IDs must make sure that the ID clearly states that it is not acceptable identification for federal purposes, and it must have a unique design or color so that the law enforcement officials may discern the non-compliance. Now, if you were to look on your state ID or driver license, there is a star that is on the right-hand corner, and each style is different in each state but all the same. This is how you can tell if a person has one. If yours does not, it means that you do not have a real ID. Now, what I want to make clear is that if you do have this is not a huge cause for concern, and you do have the option to opt out. What I am trying to explain is how this real ID is not the mark of the beast. It also says, in order to obtain a real ID, an applicant must now provide their State Department of Motor Vehicles DMV with more proof of their identity than previously required. To be certain of the document's validity, the DMV must verify the identification with the agency that issued the document. No documents from foreign agencies are deemed acceptable save official passports. Subsequent renewal is required at least once every 8 years. The following documentation is required in order to obtain a driver's license or ID card that is compliant with the Real ID Act: a photo identity document, proof of date of birth, proof of social security number or verification that the person is ineligible for social security, and documentation displaying both name and permanent address. Additionally, DHS, Department of Homeland Security, requires each state to maintain a database that includes all information from an individual's ID as well as their driving history. All state databases will eventually be linked to one another to allow for a seamless process between states and to avoid dual licensing. So there it is. Overall, the Real ID Act was passed by Congress in 2005 and signed into law by President George W. Bush. It was passed as a national security measure to prevent terrorism. It set federal standards for state-issue IDs, including enhanced security features and centralized identity databases. Now, to the general public, this sounds reasonable when looking at it on the surface. But if you understand the truth about 9/11, you will know that that event was created and used to bring about different agendas for the New World Order, and the Real ID is one of them. But they were saying that the Real ID was only for boarding airplanes and traveling. But there is more to it that they didn't explain. The Real ID is actually a call for mass surveillance of the world. The Real ID is being repurposed to track, monitor, and potentially control citizens, especially when linked to air travel, voting rights, and even gun ownership. They are calling for people all over the world to get a Real ID and are saying that those who don't won't be able to work and buy things. The push for the Real ID Act has ignited deep debate in both political and spiritual circles. What began as a post-9/11 national security initiative is now evolving into something far more intrusive. A potential national digital ID system that many fear could lead to widespread surveillance, social control, and a dangerous erosion of civil liberties. And there are many who believe that the Real ID is not just a tool for security, but is the biblically prophesied control system found in Revelation chapter 13. The Bible does warn us of a time when no one will be able to buy or sell unless they have the mark. And for me, I believe the Real ID is not the mark of the beast, but it is a precursor for it. The Real ID is a system that conditions people to accept digital compliance in exchange for access to basic rights like travel, commerce, and public services. But this does not mean it is the mark of the beast. This is the point that I disagree with. You see, Real ID is just the beginning of the overall agenda that they are forming and planning. What they also plan to do is biometric tracking, facial recognition, RFID chips, national databases linking all citizens across DMV, TSA, and DHS platforms, social credit systems modeled after China, digital vaccine passports, central bank digital currencies, and much more. All of this already exists, and they are using these technologies to condition us. But I would say that the Real ID is a cause for concern about them showing us what is ahead soon. Even though the Real ID is not the mark of the beast, it is the road that will lead us there. As followers of Messiah Yahushua, Jesus, we are called to resist any systems of control that can rob us of the liberties given to us by Yah, and that will compromise our relationship and allegiance to Him. So the Real ID is a gateway to the mark of the beast, and there is much more I need to share to really prove why this is. Because what I recognize is that many people are unaware of who actually runs this world and what their plans are to establish a new world order. So we need to break this all down more so we can understand why the Real ID is not the mark of the beast. One entity that people need to be made aware of is the World Economic Forum. These people are branding the world's transition into the New World Order as the Great Reset. You see, they are transitioning us into a new world. It's not something that just suddenly happens. Transition means the process or a period of changing from one state or condition to another. What these people are doing is progressively changing the world to condition us to accept the New World Order that is coming. That is what these rollouts like the Real ID, for an example, is about. It is about conditioning. These people want to great reset the debt, economy, society, government, control and security, environment, and technology. It is a complete reset that transitions us to the New World Order. And the mouthpiece for this great reset is the World Economic Forum. They say this about themselves. The World Economic Forum is the international organization for public-private cooperation. The forum engages the foremost political, business, cultural, and other leaders of society to shape global, regional, and industry agendas. It was established in 1971 as a not-for-profit foundation and is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. It is independent, impartial, and not tied to any special interests. The institution carefully blends and balances the best of many kinds of organizations from both the public and private sectors, international organizations, and academic institutions. We believe that the progress happens by bringing together people from all walks of life who have the drive and the influence to make positive change. You see, they basically are saying that they are the shapers and planners of the New World Order. They are not a government agency. They are the ones shaping the New World Order and orchestrating the world's transition to it. They are shaping the economic, technological, and societal side of the New World Order. The government side is run through the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. The 17 SDGs and World Economic Forum work parallel with each other. And the United Nations is the governmental entity that the Antichrist will use to be a one-world ruler over the earth. But one of the main spokesmen of the World Economic Forum is Klaus Schwab. Schwab has been talking a great deal about the Great Reset.
What's the objective? What kind of world do we want to build? What do we know? What did we learn? I think the world which we want to create with the Great Reset has to be much more resilient. It has to be because security, people will demand more security. Physical security, health security. It will have to be more inclusive. We had already a big gap before the crisis started. This gap will be tremendously increased. So if we want to avoid some kind of social revolutions, and we have seen the signs of anger on the streets already the last weeks, so we have to address this issue to create a stronger inclusiveness. And finally, more sustainable.
On their website, there's an article called "Now is the Time for a Great Reset." So it should be understood that they are working to press the restart button now. The way the world works right now, they want a complete fundamental shift, a reset of it all. Look at the picture on the article. It says, "Push to reset the world." This is what they are planning, and it's important to understand that it's not just about ideas, but an actual plan that has been analyzed and is being worked on to be implemented. Schwab wrote the book COVID-19: The Great Reset. If you want to understand the agenda for the world, you should get this book. He explains a great deal about it. It is clearly seen when understanding the full agenda for this world conspiracy that COVID-19 was being used as a scapegoat for their transition into the New World Order. They have been preparing for this. But one segment of the book, it talks about the technological reset. And it is important to understand this reset because everything that we are seeing in the world right now, from AI, Real ID, cryptocurrencies, the metaverse, and etc., is all about the technological reset that is leading us to a new digital economy. In regards to the technological reset, they have goals of completely digitizing the world and merging humans with computers. It's called transhumanism, and as a part of the agenda where we see the mark of the beast implemented. You have to listen to what they said on their video about the Fourth Industrial Revolution.
We are wondering what is happening to the world. Everything is changing.
The very idea of human being some sort of natural concept is really going to change.
Our bodies will be so high-tech, we won't be able to really distinguish between what's natural and what's artificial.
In the book, they say this about the technological reset. In the 4 short years since technological progress has moved impressively fast, AI is now all around us, from drones and voice recognition to virtual assistants and translation software. Our mobile devices have become a permanent and integral part of our personal and professional lives, helping us on many different fronts, anticipating our needs, listening to us, and locating us, even when not asked to do so. Automation and robots are reconfiguring the way businesses operate with staggering speed and returns on scale inconceivable just a few years ago. With the pandemic, the digital transformation that so many analysts have been referring to for years, without being exactly sure what it meant, has found its catalyst. During the lockdowns, many consumers previously reluctant to rely too heavily on digital applications and services were forced to change their habits almost overnight. Watching movies online instead of going to the cinema, having meals delivered instead of going out to restaurants, talking to friends remotely instead of meeting them in the flesh, talking to colleagues on the screen instead of chit-chatting at the coffee machine, exercising online instead of going to the gym, and so on. Thus, almost instantly, most things became e-things, e-learning, e-commerce, e-gaming, e-books, e-attendance. To sum up, the speed and breadth of the fourth industrial revolution have been and continue to be remarkable. This chapter argues that the pandemic will accelerate innovation even more, catalyzing technological changes already underway, comparable to the exacerbation effect it has had on underlying global and domestic issues, and turbocharging any digital business or the digital dimension of any business. This transition towards more digital of everything in our professional and personal lives will also be supported and accelerated by regulators. As the coronavirus crisis recedes and people start returning to the workplace, the corporate move will be towards greater surveillance. For better or for worse, companies will be watching and sometimes recording what their workforce does. The trend could take many different forms, from measuring body temperatures with thermal cameras to monitoring via an app how employees comply with social distancing. This is bound to raise profound regulatory and privacy issues, which many companies will reject by arguing that unless they increase digital surveillance, they won't be able to reopen and function without risking new infections and being, in some cases, liable. They will cite health and safety as justification for increased surveillance. It is true that in the post-pandemic era, personal health and well-being will become a much greater priority for society, which is why the genie of tech surveillance will not be put back into the bottle. But it is for those who govern in each of us personally to control and harness the benefits of technology without sacrificing our individual and collective values and freedoms. So you see, they are very clearly saying that they will be controlling us through their technology, and we will have to make a choice to accept it in order to take part in their businesses and their economy. They have plans to merge humans with machines. They speak on this more with the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Klaus Schwab wrote a book called The Fourth Industrial Revolution and another book called Shaping the Future of the Fourth Industrial Revolution. The second book piggybacks off the first book. If you read these books, they explain a great deal about what we are currently seeing forming in this world. They are currently transitioning our minds for this fourth industrial revolution that is upon us, and they are just getting us ready for it. In the second chapter of his book, he writes about the drivers of the fourth industrial revolution. He speaks of megatrends. Now, what is a megatrend? It is a powerful transformative forces that could change the global economy, business, and society, have been changing the way we live for centuries. Think electricity, automobile, the internet. Basically, megatrends are trends that have an effect on a global scale. So what Klaus is going to talk about are trends that will affect the whole world and change the way we live. It is wise to pay attention and understand what the power players and decision makers are steering this world towards, what they feel will change the world. In the book, The Fourth Industrial Revolution by Klaus Schwab, he speaks about many things that are being developed for the new digital world to come soon. There's a part in the book where he speaks about deep shifts to this new world. He says, in the Fourth Industrial Revolution, digital connectivity enabled by software technologies is fundamentally changing society. The scale of the impact and the speed of the changes taking place have made the transformation that is playing out so different from any other industrial revolution in human history. The World Economic Forum's Global Agenda Council on the Future of Software in Society conducted a survey of 800 executives to gauge when business leaders anticipate that these game-changing technologies will break into the public domain to a significant degree, and to understand fully the implication of these shifts to individuals, organizations, government, and society. The survey report, Deep Shift, Technology Tipping Points, and Social Impact, was published in September 2015. Reproduced below are 21 technology shifts presented in the study and 2 additional ones, including the tipping points for these technologies and the dates of their expected arrival to market. Now, I will point a couple of these technologies he speaks on, but you should read these for yourself to understand these technologies that are to come soon. The first shift is implantable technologies. Claus says, people are becoming more and more connected to devices, and those devices are increasingly becoming connected to their bodies. Devices are not just being worn, but also being implanted into bodies, serving communications, location and behavior monitoring, and health functions. Pacemakers and cochlear implants were just the beginning of this, with many more health devices constantly being launched. These devices will be able to sense the parameters of diseases. They will enable individuals to take action, send data to monitoring centers, or potentially release healing medicines automatically. Smart tattoos and other unique chips could help with identification and location. Implanted devices will likely also help to communicate thoughts normally expressed verbally through a built-in smartphone, and potentially unexpressed thoughts or moods by reading brainwaves and other signals. Positive impacts are reduction in missing children, increased positive health outcomes, increased self-sufficiency, better decision-making, image recognition and availability of personal data, anonymous network that will Yelp people. Negative impacts are privacy, potential surveillance, decreased data security, escapism and addiction, increased distractions, i.e., attention deficit disorder. Unknown or cut both ways are longer lives, changing nature of human relationships, changes in human interactions and relationships, real-time identification, cultural shift, eternal memory. This shift in action. Digital tattoos not only look cool, but can perform useful tasks like unlocking a car, entering mobile phone codes with a finger point, or tracking body processes. Very simply, as you can see right here, he is speaking on humans wearing implanted technologies that are able to track people. You know, what's funny is that people like to call this stuff science fiction, but all of this is becoming reality right before our eyes. There is no coincidence when there's technology that allows someone to buy or sell with it, while it is actually being planted and inserted in someone's body and gives a system complete access to their life, from financials, health records, location tracking, and much more. The show Law & Order showed us that this technology will be used in the future to monitor and track the masses.
Actually, it's an RFID chip. Radio frequency identification.
Like they put in dogs.
It's the same basic technology.
So the Britons can track every single move their daughter makes.
Not yet. In the future, chips will be equipped with GPS, but for now, they simply carry a 16-digit number unique to each client.
So why would the Burtons freak their kid out now if they can't even put her under surveillance yet?
To save her life. If she were ever in an accident, the hospital could scan the implant and retrieve valuable medical information.
So can any third-rate hacker, or Uncle Sam for that matter. How much private information can you put in these chips?
The applications are unlimited. In the future, we'll be able to track children, the elderly, criminals, immigrants.
Welcome to the New World Order.
You see, the fact that this technology exists and then promoting it to us is a conditioning of us to receive the mark of the beast soon.
I can't believe you just paid with this hand. Like, you just literally put your hand up and you're good to go. Like, that's crazy.
Hi, my name's Charlie Warzel. I'm a senior writer with BuzzFeed News. And in order to see what the future of money looks like, I decided to live for a month just paying for things with my phone. And somewhere along the line, I ended up getting a microchip implanted inside my hand to see if I could be the first person in the world to pay for something out in the real world using just their hand. I basically wanted to try to download as many apps onto my phone as possible and make sure that I could use alternative currencies and try to skirt cash or credit cards any way possible.
Using your phone as a payment method, we call that a proximity mobile payment. And we estimate that by the end of 2016, U.S. adults will spend $27 billion using their phone at the point of sale. But you look at that in the context in card volumes, I mean, that's a pretty small drop in the bucket. Other ways where that might come to fruition, not necessarily through like a surgical implant, but through other kind of integrations with the body.
Eventually I stumbled across a Venmo engineer who said that he could help me with my task. What they decided is that they would put my Venmo unique user ID onto my chip, which would basically make it so that any phone would recognize my hand as a Venmo app.
I'm gonna write your secret token for Venmo, and you're gonna go up there, they're gonna scan your hand, put how much we owe, that's it.
Takes a second. Here we go.
So you're good to go. That was so sick, dude. That was sick.
If the wallet is here and your phone is sort of a healthy middle ground, something like the chip felt to me like the furthest possible extreme of futuristic technology.
The challenge with mobile payments is that, especially in the US, it's so easy to use cards.
After doing this experiment, I would bet that in about 10 years, it's kind of abnormal to carry around a wallet that's just stuffed full of cash.
There is an active campaign promoting an implantable RFID microchip that has many different functions, but one of them is allowing digital commerce transactions to exist. They are planting the chip in people's hands, and now they are showing the technology for the same thing to be planted in our foreheads as well.
Elon Musk's next project isn't a car or a spaceship or a solar panel. The executive's latest startup is called Neuralink, which focuses on the goal of implanting chips into human brains and also connecting brains to computers. Here's what Elon Musk said at a conference in California about the technology last night.
This, I think, has a very good purpose, which is to cure important diseases and ultimately to help secure humanity's future as a civilization relative to AI. This, I think, has tremendous potential, and we hope to have this aspirationally in a human patient before the end of next year.
Neuralink is the first chip implanted into the human brain that directly links the human brain with the hard drive of a physical computer without a wire, without a cable. So it's like Bluetooth technology. It's beyond Bluetooth, but you can think of it that way. So what he's saying is, if you can't beat the machines, join them. He said, let's interface, let's become one with these machines. So
one way how they really conditioned the masses to be accepting of this new technology coming was with the mRNA they were injecting into the masses with the vaccines when COVID happened. Klaus even mentions digital tattoos that can perform useful tasks like unlocking a car, entering mobile phone codes with a finger point, or tracking body processes. A smart digital tattoo is an electronic tattoo that can transmit data wirelessly. It can monitor health, monitor UV exposure, transmit data, and etc. Now, they say that this can be rubbed off and is similar to a temporary tattoo. But for me, I can see this actually becoming a permanent thing they can put on the body. And I can see this going on the forehead and on the right hand. Now, the digital tattoos is one aspect of it, but another part is the actual RFID microchips that can be put in the forehead and hands as well. Both of these technologies, I could see them using in the future to administer the mark of the beast. What people need to understand is that this is an actual movement, and it is referred to in many ways. You may hear biohacking or transhumanists. They market it as a way of upgrading us.
She inserts chips into people.
What we have going in today is an XNT microchip implant.
What kind of people are getting these chips?
There's definitely more people that are interested just for the novelty of having one and having I've been upgraded to a cyborg.
Augmenting technology is one of the reasons why I want to do it. I have an NFC reader in my car, and it's got keyless entry and keyless start, so I would like to be able to start my car without needing my keys. But once I've got the chip, this is my entry into biohack. I've been very curious about it before. It's something I've written about extensively. I like to automate all processes in my life if possible, and this is just another way of doing that.
The chip is currently located around about here, just in the neck of the needle.
That's pretty big.
Alrighty, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Take a nice full breath in for me. So we'll just press down on that.
Your chip's in.
My chip's in.
Your
My
chip.
chip's-
You're a cyborg.
Hey, I'm a cyborg.
You're a biohacker.
Look at me, Mom.
Understand, when we take on this mark, it is a form of biological hacking that changes our DNA and merges it with computers. That's why the transhumanism movement promotes that human beings can and should use technology to augment and evolve our species. Another shift is wearable internet. Claus says, technology is becoming increasingly personal. Computers were first located in large rooms, then on desks, and, following that, on people's laps. While technology can now be found in people's mobile phones and their pockets, it will soon be integrated directly into clothing and accessories. Released in 2015, Apple Watch is connected to the internet and contains many of the same functional capabilities as a smartphone. Increasingly, clothing and other equipment worn by people will have embedded chips that connect the article and person wearing it to the internet. Positive impacts are more positive health outcomes leading to longer lives, more self-sufficiency, self-managed healthcare, better decision-making, decrease in missing children, personalized clothes, tailoring design. Negative impacts are privacy potential surveillance, escapism addiction, data security, unknown or cutting both ways, real-time identification, change in personal interactions and relationships, image recognition and availability of personal data, anonymous network that will Yelp you. This is a very real thing. Our smart devices like our mobile phones, computers, and etc. all have chips in them that can be tracked. Now, this is the same thing that occurred with the Apple Watches and anything similar to that. These devices also have tracking chips in them as well. But Claus said that the clothes and other items have tracking chips embedded in them as well. This is a photo from Montclair that shows the RFID in the apparel. They are using the excuse of microchipping clothes and accessories to identify knockoff designer goods. But I know that this is much bigger than that. This is all about more control and tracking of people, and eventually everything in the world will have actual RFID chips embedded in them. They already did this with animals and products with the chips, but eventually this will be with people. They will not just put chips in clothes, but also everything else you could think of as well. I remember the movie Enemy of the State with Will Smith, showing how his phone, clothes, and just about everything had tracking chips in them.
Got vertical movement here. Elevator. He's in an elevator. We're losing our tracking. Anybody got a visual? We need to move location and get a better signal. Are you guys there yet? Negative.
But this is the future that we are being headed to, with all of our lives being fully tracked and monitored from all different fronts. Another shift is Bitcoin and the blockchain. Claus says, Bitcoin and digital currencies are based on the idea of a distributed trust mechanism called the blockchain, a way of keeping track of trusted transactions in a distributed fashion. Currently, the total worth of Bitcoin in the blockchain is around $20 billion, or about 0.025% of global GDP of around $80 trillion. Positive impacts are increased financial inclusion in emerging markets as financial services on the blockchain gain critical mass. disintermediation of financial institutions, as new services and value exchanges are created directly on the blockchain, an explosion in tradable assets as all kinds of value exchange can be hosted on the blockchain, better property records in emerging markets, and the ability to make everything a tradable asset, context and legal services increasingly tied to code linked to the blockchain to be used as unbreakable escrow or programmatically designed smart contracts, increase transparency as the blockchain is essentially a global ledger storing all transactions. This shift in action. SmartContracts.com provides programmable contracts that do payouts between two parties once certain criteria have been met without involving a middleman like banks. These contracts are secured in the blockchain as a self-executing contractual states, which eliminate the risk of relying on others to follow through on their commitments. I just want to add this in because what a lot of people don't recognize is that they are using money the most to lead us to the New World Order. A lot of people are unaware that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are hedging against the fiat currencies like the dollar. They were rolled out as an enemy against our current financial system. They are just a sign of them showing us that a new digital economy is approaching that will have us using these new digital currencies and not using cash anymore. There has been a lot of talk from the world leaders of them alluding that the dollar is collapsing and that new digital currencies will be used in the new economy.
What underpins a world order is always the financial system. I was very privileged. My father was an advisor to Nixon when they came off the gold standard in '71, and so I was brought up with a kind of inside view of how very important the financial structure is to absolutely everything else. And what we're seeing in the world today, I think, is we are on the brink of a dramatic change where we are about to, and I'll say this boldly, we're about to abandon the traditional system of money and accounting and introduce a new one.
In the coming weeks and days, I'll be making certain announcements regarding the acceleration of Jamaica's intention to become a fully digital society. We are well on our way to this. We have established the National Identification System. We have put in place our digital currency. We have given directions to our ministries to digitalize their operations. Most of our ministries are now moving from paper-based systems to digital systems. Our military is transitioning. The society is moving very quickly, very rapidly to become digital. Our banking consumers are seeing it as well because the banks are moving very rapidly to digital. You have something now called artificial intelligence. Very soon this position of a human being exchanging cash and so on, that is going to disappear from the banking system very soon. And you are going to have to interface with machines.
This is how I know for certain that the mark of the beast is not here, because in order for the prophecy of us to not be able to buy or sell without the mark, the entire world has to be on the same form of payment. And with physical cash, this is not possible. Understand, you cannot stop buying or selling when there is cash. And there must be a world currency because there must be economic rules for the whole world to abide to. If no man may buy or sell without this mark, you need a cashless world currency. So there is no coincidence why there is a major push to digitize money. Cryptocurrencies are a new currency that have been around only for a decade, but is now being promoted as the future of money. Countries are actively working to implement their own cryptocurrencies. Facebook created their own cryptocurrency to facilitate global payments. The blockchain technology is a literal digital ledger that records all transactions. We can see that this is a goal of the elite. They want a cashless society so that every transaction is recorded and they know what everyone is doing around the world. With cash, that is not possible because transactions are able to be done without record. If I give you cash, there is no way for them to know. But in a controlled beast system, everything must be recorded. But they will do this in the name of peace and security and to protect the system from failing again after the global economic collapse. They want a cashless society, and you can only deny that if you are ignorant to the world events that is happening right before your eyes. They went from cash to checks, to credit and debit cards, to chips in the cards, to payment through our phones, to now digital currencies where physical currency is never used again. Back then, all of this would be a nut conspiracy. Today, this is a reality to anyone who has their eyes open. But I did explain this in more depth in my One World Currency video, so you should go check that out. Nevertheless, we will not see the market of beasts being distributed until after the world goes into chaos, and then the Antichrist brings in the new digital economy. I understand that there is much going on right now with the agenda of digitizing the world, and one of the ways how they are doing this is by creating digital identities of people. This is what we are seeing right now with them wanting people to have real IDs and are attaching it to buying and selling.
This government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
And from hearing that, people automatically want to label this as the market of beasts, but this should not be done. This was the same situation when the COVID vaccines were being administered and they were attaching people's job and money to it as well.
Don't get the vaccine, you can't go to the supermarket. Don't have the vaccine, you don't show it, can't go to the ball game. Don't have the vaccine, can't go to work. You don't have the vaccine, can't come here. No shirt, no shoes, no service. That's where I think we should be right now, because we continue to waste our breath on people who are just not going to change. They're, the circular logic. They just keep going back and saying, well, it's my freedom, it's whatever.
And when people were hearing that, they assumed that the vaccine was the market of beasts, but it was not. And there were many reasons I gave as to why that vaccine was not the market of beasts, but was just conditioning us to accept the real one coming soon. This comes from people forcing Bible prophecy, and this is how false teachings come about. You see, in order for the prophecy of the market of beasts to be in effect, the world has to be in a cashless system. This is why you see a major push to transition everything online. Have you ever heard of 6G Internet, Web 3.0, and the Metaverse? These are all tools that will be used to create this cashless digital world. The World Economic Forum is establishing global governance in the Metaverse. They are pushing digital ID for all users so all blended reality interactions and transactions can be tracked and traced. In the report from the World Economic Forum titled Shared Commitments in a Blended Reality, Advancing Governance in the Future Internet, expresses the desire to establish global governance in blended reality, which requires digital identity for all users to keep track of their interactions and transactions. They say, the current internet landscape faces challenges such as mistrust, fractured governance, and often reactive policies that may not be interoperable across jurisdictions. Society is at a crucial inflection point where the convergence of emerging technologies, new industry players, and evolving public expectations creates a unique opportunity to tackle these challenges. The metaverse offers a glimpse of what the future internet might look like, an immersive integration of digital and physical realities propelled by advancements in extended reality XR technology and integration with technologies like artificial intelligence, AI, and distributed ledger technologies, DLT. This includes blockchain, 6G, Internet of Things, IoT, quantum technologies, robotics, digital twins, and much more. This transformation is not just a technological leap, but an opportunity to explore how governance can develop securely and safely in digital spaces and affect the norms of physical reality. In May 2022, the World Economic Forum launched the Defining and Building the Metaverse Initiative, an integrated approach to the development and governance of the metaverse. Its aim is to build a safer, more responsible, secure, equitable, inclusive, diverse, resilient, and accessible metaverse through discussions with a wide array of stakeholders, including those from government, industry, civil society, and academia. This paper builds on the initiative's work. This white paper operates on the premise that the metaverse represents a critical opportunity to redefine the norms of today's internet and specifically internet governance. As technologies advance, these new innovations in their governance across business units, geographies, and jurisdictions present an opportunity to redefine norms and create a safe, inclusive, accessible, resilient, and equitable metaverse. A cohesive set of commitments will guide governance as emerging technologies create a blended physical-digital reality. The need for a coordinated governance approach in the digital spaces, i.e. social media, internet chat rooms, and content platforms, has long been recognized with various standards, frameworks, and best practices already in place. As digital and physical realities increasingly become blended, however, particularly in XR environments, cohesive governance becomes even more critical. These commitments are based on the work of the multi-stakeholder community constituted by the World Economic Forum's defining and building the Metaverse Initiative, consolidating and building upon existing principles and shared values, and adapting them to address the unique challenges posed by emerging technologies. By synthesizing established guidelines with forward-thinking approaches, these commitments aim to create a robust foundation for governing the evolving digital landscape. This is a lot that they are saying, but what they are essentially saying is that when it comes to the future interactions in the metaverse, they say that some people will behave badly and that some people won't know how to deal with what they experience. And for those reasons, digital ID should be a prerequisite under a global governance framework to ensure user safety. Under the banner of establishing global governance in the metaverse, the World Economic Forum is pushing digital ID for all users so all blended reality interactions and transactions can be tracked and traced. The main technology that will be used to create digital identities will be the metaverse. They are framing the metaverse as the new digital world that we are being transitioned into living in.
The next platform and medium will be even more immersive, an embodied internet where you're in the experience, not just looking at it. And we call this the metaverse. And you're going to be able to do almost anything you can imagine. Get together with friends and family, work, learn, play, shop, create, as well as entirely new categories that don't really fit how we think about computers or phones today. Rather than just focusing on this year's products like a normal keynote, we're going to talk about the future. So let's start by exploring what different kinds of metaverse experiences could feel like, starting with the most important experience of all, connecting with people. Imagine you put on your glasses or headset and you're instantly in your home space. It has parts of your physical home recreated virtually, it has things that are only possible virtually, and it has an incredibly inspiring view of whatever you find most beautiful.
Hey, are you coming?
Yeah, just gotta find something to wear. All right, perfect.
You see, the Real ID is just priming us to be already accepting and conditioned to create digital profiles for the metaverse economy. The metaverse is a new digital universe, a digital world. It is the next era of the internet, which is projected to deliver a digital environment that is similar to real life. It's a whole new world that people around the world will be plugged into. The metaverse will exist in parallel to reality, allowing people to work, open businesses, socialize, communicate, and interact with one another in a fully immersive system of virtual destinations. Right now, all of us look at the internet through our phones, computers, and other devices. What the metaverse will do is move us into the internet. It is actually likened to living in the internet. This is much deeper than stuff simply being virtual reality. You see, virtual reality headsets and hardware like that are just tools that assist people in plugging in. But when you add in the other pieces in place like blockchain technology, Web 3.0, cryptocurrencies, artificial intelligence, 6G internet, remote work, gaming, online social activities, and etc., all of these pieces will meet at one singular point to create a virtual universe in the form of what we will call the metaverse. People will live in an artificial augmented reality. People will live inside the internet.
That's it, Mark. I'm moving to the metaverse.
They will be merging the physical world with the digital. The grand vision of the metaverse is to provide a parallel digital universe connected to our physical world with multiple digital technologies. This parallel virtual environment and the bringing together of the online and offline world will allow the user to experience and communicate in the digital world through avatars, which will be the user's chosen persona. They even say that a person will be able to bring in their real face into the metaverse. You can create a photorealistic 3D scan of your face that will upload it onto the metaverse, and the metaverse will feature many elements from physical reality, including buildings, work, leisure locations, and other different landscapes. This is why there has been people buying digital plots of land in the metaverse. They are buying digital real estate.
Breaking out, but it's not happening in your backyard. It is happening in a fake world called the metaverse. The virtual real estate market is on fire right now, and our next guest says there is real money to be made in this fake land grab.
What's unique about the metaverse today is that virtual worlds are being designed specifically for adults, where they can live inside these virtual worlds and carry out their life.
Websites like Rentable are literally a leasing agency for virtual real estate. Like, all you really have to do is just browse and choose the property that's within your monthly budget. Make sure the length of the lease is what you need and the location is good. And also there's a security deposit, just like in the real world, where if you're late on paying the rent for the following month, then you lose that deposit. And then as soon as you pay for your first month's rent, the land is yours to do whatever you want with, right?
The ultimate goal of the metaverse is to look and feel like physical reality, allowing your avatar to move around freely, interact with others, and access information just like in the real world. The metaverse aims to connect with reality by designing a large-scale virtual reality setting where anyone can have a persistent presence as an extension of their physical self or company. The metaverse can also be a merger of all realities, filled with artificial intelligent entities, making it possible for people and other beings to communicate and interact shared environments. There are so many purposes that the metaverse will take care of. The elite of this world who control a majority of the world's wealth, these people have gained complete control over the world and its resources. They own the land, real estate, businesses, social entertainment, and pretty much our complete way of life. In being that they now have a complete handle on all these things, and also being that there's no way to bridge a union between the rich and the poor, the rich will stay rich and the poor will stay poor. They have created an alternate universe that allows the poor to live in digital reality, that they can escape the true reality of this world. A place where they can use their digital money, their cryptocurrencies, to buy and sell in this digital universe. This will make the world a lot smaller and easier to control. While the rich will stay rich and own all of the actual physical assets, the real stuff, the poor will try to build something for themselves online in a new digital world. They literally have created a digital matrix. This is what the NFTs are for. People buying digital properties to own in a metaverse. You can buy an NFT and hold it in your digital home. Klaus Schwab has a quote saying, "You will own nothing and you will be happy about it." But from understanding the metaverse, you can see how this quote is possible. You see, in the physical world, we will not own anything, but in the digital world, we will have possession of many things. Though the physical world will be in complete disaster, you won't care because they have created an alternate reality for you to live in. That's also what they are not telling everyone. The coronavirus pandemic was a big promotion of the metaverse. When they implemented the worldwide lockdown, they pushed everyone online, and the youth especially are tapped in. Even adults got locked into digital features like Zoom. This was all conditioning the population for entrance into a new digital world. Chaos in the world has been a catalyst for the most craziest change that has happened in the world. It's order out of chaos. And the great reset that they are planning that will occur after the collapse of the United States dollar will usher in the next phase of their implementation and conditioning. The majority of the world who will be dealing with massive poverty, unrest, destruction, death, famine, and etc. They will all be looking for an escape route from the physical world, and the metaverse will provide this for them, which is why we are seeing the rollouts now. This is why there has been so many advertisements promoting the meta glasses and etc. The Pacific Archipelago of 12,000 people has declared itself the world's first digital nation, using the metaverse to preserve its culture.
Our land, our ocean, our culture are the most precious assets of our people. And to keep them safe from harm, no matter what happens in the physical world, we'll move them to the cloud. Islands like this one won't survive rapid temperature increases, rising sea levels, and droughts, so we'll recreate them virtually. Piece by piece, we'll preserve our country, provide solace to our people, and remind our children and our grandchildren what our home once was. Only concerted global effort can ensure that Tuvalu does not move permanently online and disappear forever from the physical plane.
You see, this is the future world that we are headed to, and the rest of the world will be a digital economy. The metaverse opens a parallel world of opportunities for those less privileged by their immediate geography and economic circumstances. They will create a world where everything is much easier to govern and manage because all lives will be placed online, where everything is logged, monitored, tracked, and recorded. One major way how they will be able to track people is by money. Not only will we have digital ID, but we will also have a digital wallet to carry cryptocurrencies. This is the big key component to Web 3.0 and the metaverse. Right now, the world is navigating through Web 2.0. In our current Web 2.0, you only need a browser and apps. But with Web 3, you need the web, which will be more interactive than a simple browser. That's where the metaverse comes in, and you will need a VR headset and other tools that will help you be on the internet. That is why you see all these promotions about the virtual reality headsets. And as well as those tools, you will need a virtual wallet. This is where our money will be held. In our current Web 2, world data is collected and sold to advertisers in order to fund websites and applications. In the future world of Web 3, handing over your name, number, date of birth, and other sensitive information in order for a dApp to trust you is unnecessary, because the blockchain has built trust into the system itself. People will be able to move from platform to platform on the internet using a single personalized account, rather than having to log into multiple different accounts for each respective company and platform. Like you won't need a different login for YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, with all of these different logins. You won't be going on the internet with a whole bunch of different logins and passwords. Everyone on the earth will have one identity that they can go online with, and you can only access it through your microchip. This is what the metaverse is being built for. In order to transact and buy and sell, you will have to do it through this system, because this is what the new system will be based upon. People will have one online identity that they're able to use to live out their daily lives. And if you're non-compliant or break laws or anything else, they can simply lock you out of the system. But this is what they don't tell people. You know how they make a system that you can't buy or sell without having a mark? This is that way. The plans are to be able to tie our physical identities to the metaverse in a singular way that allows our identities to be known and not duplicated. Our profile names will cross throughout all platforms. And if you violate the rules, you can easily be locked out. This is literally the Matrix in real life. People being plugged into a digital reality. There are so many agendas that coincide with this. Everyone needs to understand and be aware of where they are moving this world to. They are moving the world out of the physical world that our Father created and moving them into a digital world that Satan has created. There are many different movies that have alluded to this type of world scenario. From movies like WALL-E that showed the future of a digital economy. Also, Cars 3 showed us the future use of augmented reality technology. Also movies like Free Guy that showed the metaverse, and other movies like Tron that showed us the conditioning to live in the internet. It all sounds like crazy science fiction until you actually see it all come together. You could be whoever you desire to be in the metaverse. There are no rules in this metaverse that has anything to do with our Father in heaven, but there will of course be rules of engagement, very much like how they do now with the current rules of the web, like with what we can say and what we can't say. Rules like that, but more global and further reaching. But this is the metaverse. They are creating a whole new world right in front of our faces, literally telling us about it, but they are describing it as benevolent. They are opening a doorway for the world to walk into that will put them into a new world that Satan has fully created and that he is the ultimate God of and is all powerful and all knowing and all present. In the metaverse, Satan is the one who is omnipotent, omnipresent, and omniscient. He is literally creating a virtual world to replicate Yah's real power, and he is steering the world right into it unknowingly, but willingly. And the only way to have access is by taking the mark of the beast. This technology, I believe, will be used to create an image of the beast that will cause the world to worship the beast and receive his mark. He was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as will not worship the image of the beast to be killed. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here's wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. Revelation chapter 13, verse 15 to 18. So as you can see from all of this, it is very clear that we will not see any implementation of the mark of the beast until the world goes into chaos and the Antichrist and the false prophet appears after to establish a peace treaty and then bring in the global order by the United Nations and the new digital economy with the metaverse. And the only way to get access to the system is by taking his mark, which is something that will be injected into our bodies that you will have to make a decision to make. And if you do not take the mark, you will not only be able to not buy and sell, but you will be killed for not taking it. Like the scripture says, "And I saw thrones, and they sat on them, and judgment was committed to them. Then I saw the souls of those who had been beheaded for their witness to Yahushua, Jesus, and for the word of Elohim, who had not worshipped the beast or his image, and had not received his mark on their foreheads or on their hands. And they live and reign with Christ for 1,000 years. Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. You see, people who don't take the mark of the beast will be killed. Beheaded means cut off the head of someone, especially as a form of execution. If you were to watch my other video about the coming Antichrist part 4, I explained that there has been an agenda of establishing Noahide laws that will be used in the future to bring about capital punishment to those who don't submit to the Antichrist. They even signed the House Bill 1274 that allows for executions by the guillotines. And there has been secret orders the government has been doing to bring in guillotines to have them set and ready for the future when the beast of Revelation arrives. But this is one big way how I know the mark is not here yet, because there are no people being beheaded from not taking a mark. This is how I know that the real ID is not the mark of the beast, because people are not being beheaded for not accepting it. This is also the same case for the COVID vaccines not being the mark of the beast, because the people who didn't get them was not beheaded for it. And there are many people who will believe what they want to believe, and that's on them. But this was me showing concretely how the real ID is conditioning us to have real digital profiles on the metaverse that they can track and monitor with the use of the mark of the beast. None of this can be seen right now, but this all comes after the world goes into chaos, like Albert Pike explained with their plan of World War III, to bring in their new world order so that the pure doctrine of Lucifer can be brought finally out in the public view. For those who care for Yah and his word, who are believers in the Bible and believe in salvation only through Yahushua HaMashiach, if you are a true believer, this new world being created is in complete opposition to your belief. It is a complete attack against you, and they are hoping that as long as you live in ignorance, you will not be the wiser of what they are doing. They are hoping to have a mental stranglehold on our children that makes them view this alternate world as a good thing, but it is bringing them right into Satanism, allowing them to live and do whatever they want. Living in another world that was not created by our Creator is one of the ultimate gestures that will show allegiance to Satan in his new world, and we must break free from all of these lies and technologies that is leading us to accept the Antichrist that is coming soon. I just wanted to convey and show how the real ID is not the mark of the beast, but is just grooming us to accept a new world that is coming soon. And this is not an endorsement of getting a real ID, but this is just tackling the false teaching that the real ID is the mark of the beast. This goes right along with those people who thought the mark of the beast was the coronavirus vaccines. We must apply prophecy correctly so that we are not deceived and led astray. There will come a time when we will have to break away from the internet because they will use this product to put us into the new digital world in order to buy and sell. So you must make a choice on where you stand with all of this. In the end, I hope you reject the mark of the beast in the new digital world and be faithful to Yah and endure to the end. Then the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, "If anyone worships the beast in his image, and receives his mark on his forehead or on his hand, he himself shall also drink of the wine of the wrath of Elohim, which is poured out full strength into the cup of his indignation. He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascends forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints. Here are those who keep the commandments of Elohim and the faith of Yahushua, Jesus." Then I heard a voice from heaven saying to me, "Write, blessed are the dead who die in Yahuwah from now on. Yes, says the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors and their works follow them." Revelation chapter 14, verse 9 to 13. Amen.